From cheating scandals,
And that's when he started thinking I was cheating because I was dilated.
to the nastiest child abuse accusations.
But why did you have a 14-year-old girl in your room?
These are the most dramatic moments on the Steve Wilkos Show, beginning with one of the dirtiest cases ever. A woman was accused of coaching her own nephew to lie about being molested, and across from her sat Rodney, the man she said was guilty of doing it.
You also took a lie detector test
Yes,
about
I
coaching
did.
your nephew into saying he was molested.
Steve started by going over the woman's lie detector results. She was asked if she had coached the boy to say Rodney molested him, and whether she heard the boy use Rodney's name when describing what happened.
And the results of your lie detector test is, Krisha, that you told the truth.
Then it was Rodney's turn, except there was no test to read. He couldn't even take it.
Rodney was untestable.
The producers had tried to run a lie detector on him, but the results were useless because his drug screen came back positive for marijuana, cocaine, and methamphetamine.
Due to results of a drug test,
The second Steve said that, chairs started flying around. People jumped up, security rushed in, and Rodney started fighting everyone off, yelling that it wasn't his fault and that the test was wrong. The guards had to hold him while he kept screaming that he'd take another test any day, still swearing he didn't do anything. Steve cut him off and explained that the show had warned him not to use drugs before coming in, but he'd done them anyway.
but you spent the last couple days doing marijuana, cocaine, and methamphetamines.
Rodney tried denying it, but with that, Steve threw him right off his stage. And if you think a meth head trying to fight a lie detector is crazy, the next case hits even lower, involving a 4-year-old covered in bruises and cigarette burns. A father comes on the show, claiming his 4-year-old daughter is being abused by her mother and her mother's boyfriend.
Here to prove that my 4-year-old daughter's mother and her mother's boyfriend are abusing her.
He says he's only known the little girl was his for about a year, but every time he sees her, she's covered in bruises. Not just one or two, but numerous.
Unexplained bruises, numerous, not just one or two here and there, numerous.
There was even a time she needed 7 stitches in her nose, and the kid's been showing up with burns that look like cigarette marks. And he's furious, demanding answers.
She had 7 stitches in her nose. She had cigarette burn.
Now this is when the mother's boyfriend jumps in to throw his own tantrum.
Where you been? You told
If you
Victoria to
would've
have an
told me that
abortion.
it was mine,
You
I
told her
would've
to have
known.
an abortion.
Yeah, you want to call her your daughter and you're sitting there
Yeah,
beating
she's
on
my
her?
daughter.
This baldy does such a poor job at making excuses that he says the girl's injuries were from falling off a couch.
Yeah,
Coffee
that's
table?
why there's a police report saying it was an accident. She fell off the couch.
Nobody's buying that. You'd think the actual mother of the child would be a bit more reasonable, but you'd be dead wrong.
Let me tell you something
Let me
right
tell
here.
No, you beat on her,
No,
and
the
that's the
hell
end of
don't.
it.
Clearly, she doesn't have anger issues. When the mother tries to defend herself, her excuses are even more pathetic than the stepdad's.
Her and her sister play rough. I don't abuse my daughter. I spank my daughter, yes.
When pressed about why the child was taken away by child services in the first place, she says she doesn't know, which sounds even dumber because something like this only happens when something's seriously wrong.
Why did your child get taken away from you?
I don't know. I honestly don't know why.
When Steve confronts her for lying, she goes silent.
maybe we could get you help. But you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest with yourself, you gotta be honest with me.
Seeing this, Steve offers her help, and this episode actually ends on a good note with the child receiving support.
Oh, so
Because I realize I do have an anger problem.
Okay, so that's. I'm glad that you're being honest now.
Steve barely caught a break from one child abuse case before another hit his stage, and this one's worse. A woman's own sister showed up to accuse her boyfriend Ashley of molesting her 4-year-old daughter. She said every time she'd stop by to check on the kid, something always felt off.
I'm here because I have a 4-year-old niece that has been telling me that her stepfather Ashley has been molesting her in inappropriate places.
Once, she walked in and found Ashley sprinting across the hallway, trying to throw on a diaper on a child who was completely naked.
Come upstairs and he's running across the hall to put on diapers. When I check on my niece, she's laying on the bed with no clothes on.
When the little girl finally opened up, she said exactly what everyone feared, that Ashley touches me on my private area.
At the age 2, my niece comes to me and tells me, Amy, Ashley's been touching me on my private area.
Steve brought the mother, Taniel, on stage. She tried to act calm, saying her sister was exaggerating and that her boyfriend would never do that. But she didn't sound too sure herself.
Your boyfriend. Ashley's not her father.
No, that's her stepfather.
Okay.
And so, but he's been in her life for 3.5 years.
Even Ashley tried to look innocent, pretending like he was the real victim in all this. He said he loved that girl like his own son.
I feel hurt, because you know I wouldn't do that to you, our daughter. You know I would.
But that performance didn't last long. As soon as sister walked in, he knew he wasn't winning this.
You're a pervert. You know you're a pervert. My niece be telling me this.
You know what?
It don't matter.
No.
My niece be telling me 4 years.
They even brought in the father of the little girl to really seal Ashley's fate.
Homie, welcome back, homie.
How come you ain't never told me about this?
Welcome, homie.
Because
Wow.
why would I want to tell you?
Why would you want to have something like this here?
Then came the lie detector results. The sister, who accused him, passed with flying colors.
And the results for her lie detector test is that LaToya told the truth.
She told the truth. And Ashley? He failed every single time. 3 tests last night, 3 more today. Every single one said the same thing. He was lying.
And the results for your lie detector test is that you did not tell the truth.
The second Steve read that result out loud, Ashley's whole act fell apart. He started screaming, denying everything, saying he didn't touch no one.
I didn't do nothing.
Then why did you not pass the test?
Oh.
She passed the test, so why didn't you pass the test?
Because they didn't ask me the right question.
Steve wasn't having it. He tore right into the mother for failing to protect her own daughter, telling her flat out she should have called the police instead of sitting there defending a predator.
The fact of it is, you did let this man down. You didn't protect your daughter. You didn't investigate properly. You should have called the police.
This one's probably going to jail, but Steve's next guest made everyone wish this guy had stayed on stage. This one's as sick as it gets. A man named Charles came in after being accused multiple times of molesting children. Not 1, not 2, 5 different kids.
Charles, who's been accused of, on multiple occasions, of molesting children.
Steve had him sit down and take the lie detector test. The questions were straight to the point. Had he ever taken nude photos of them, played the tickle game, or sexually molested any of them? Every time, Charles said no. Every time, the results said he was lying.
Results came back all the same. They came back that you, Charles, did not tell the truth.
The moment Steve read those results, the audience lost it. Charles started yelling that the questions were wrong and demanding another test.
So we setting you up, Charles? We setting you up here on the Steve Wilkos Show?
Those are not the questions I was asked. I'm
gonna
going to take that
explain
son of a
this.
bitch to jail.
This man was so guilty he tried to run off the stage.
Again, because we gave it to you a couple times. Run?
No.
Are we gonna run, Charles?
That's your question,
We
that
run
was
it?
asked.
Okay, let me explain something to you.
Yet his mother keeps saying she doesn't believe the tests and her son is innocent.
Are you still believing your son?
I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
What?
Well, she can stay delusional, but the next lie detector Charles will be taking would be with the police.
You know what?
kids.
You know what? The next lie detector test you're gonna take is with the police.
Yeah.
And just when you think you've seen the worst kind of trash walk onto Steve's stage, the next one proves there's always lower. This story starts with a mother who walked onto Steve's stage holding 10 years worth of anger and heartbreak.
I'm here today because when my son was 6 months old, he was beaten.
When her son was just 6 months old, someone beat him so badly that his tiny skull ended up with 12 fractures, from behind one ear to the other, shattered bone after shattered bone, leaving him permanently brain damaged and blind.
He had 12 fractures from behind the side of his ear until the other side, and then there was many fractures off the big fractures.
The doctors traced the injuries back to a single night, August 12th, the birthday of Tiara, the mother's sister. That was the same night the mom had been in the hospital and Tiara was supposed to be babysitting. Instead, she'd gone to a bar.
She was responsible for watching your son that night?
Yeah, and she decided to go out to the bar instead of watching my little boy.
When Steve asked who was watching the baby that night while she was at the bar, nobody could give a straight answer. The sister said she thought everyone in the family had him, which was pure nonsense.
I had him, but once I have him, it's like everybody in my family has him too. That's how much we
No,
all
when you
care
have
about
him,
that.
you have him.
She claimed she left for only 10 minutes, that someone else was taking care of the child. But even that story didn't hold up.
She went to the bar. She was there for like 10 minutes. She came
No,
right
you
back.
guys need to get your story straight.
No,
I
you
don't know what
just
happened to
need
my
to.
kids.
Nobody knew who was really with the baby when it happened, or no one wanted to admit it. But the lie detector test had the answers.
You answered no. You did not tell the truth.
Steve told the sister exactly what everyone was thinking, that she'd gone out drinking, got wasted, and came home angry. Maybe the baby cried too much, maybe she wanted to sleep, and in her rage, she shook him.
And
hurt,
maybe
baby.
when you picked up that
No.
baby and started shaking that baby.
No, never.
And maybe that baby made you mad.
Nope.
And maybe you caused injuries to that
Nope.
baby.
By the end, no one on that stage looked innocent. The only real victim was that poor baby, and Steve made sure every last one of them felt that. After a baby ends up brain damaged because the adults were too busy lying and drinking, Steve's next guests prove you don't need a crime to be a complete disaster of a couple. This one starts with a woman who's flat out done. She walks onto the stage calling her own fiancé psychotic. And for once, she's not exaggerating.
I'm here because my boyfriend, fiance is psychotic. He thinks I'm cheating on him.
The guy accuses her of cheating every single day. Not just with strangers, but with everyone. Her friends, his friends, even family members. He's so paranoid he literally sets up booby traps at home.
He'll set up booby traps on the door. He'll stick paper in the top of the door.
He also inspects her body for hickeys and marks. This all started 2 weeks after they began dating, when she went into early labor and he convinced himself she must have cheated because she was already dilated. Yeah, that's the level of genius we're dealing with here.
And I was already dilated a centimeter then, and that's when he started thinking I was cheating because I was dilated.
When they fight, he calls her every name in the book, whatever pops into his tiny, angry head.
When we fight, he'll call me cheater, he'll call me a whore, a bitch, a slut, whatever comes to his mind.
The only reason she stuck around was because he signed her son's birth certificate, even though the kid wasn't biologically his. She thought that meant something. Turns out, all it meant was that he had the past to terrorize her daily.
It was because right after that, we had my son, and he volunteered to sign the birth certificate, which meant a lot.
He even accused her of cheating with the neighbor, a guy she's known since school and barely talks to. So Steve brings them all on stage, runs the tests, and it's exactly what you think. The neighbor passes, the girlfriend passes, zero cheating.
She told the truth.
The only liar in the room, the boyfriend, lying to himself that paranoia is love. Steve lets him know straight up that he doesn't need therapy. He just need to grow up.
And I don't even think you need help. You just need to grow up. You need some life experience, and that's going to help you.
And just when you think the guests can't get any lower, the next guy proves there's always someone worse. This one's flat out disgusting. A grandmother walks onto Steve's stage holding back tears, saying she's desperate. Her 14-year-old granddaughter has been having sex with her 26-year-old son named Jimmy.
I'm very desperate. Jimmy's 26 years old and he's having sex with my 14-year-old granddaughter.
The girl had lost her mother, and Jimmy acted like some comforting older friend. He was someone to talk to. But in reality, he was grooming her behind everyone's back.
She needed somebody to talk to. She lost her mother. After I busted the door down, I seen her slipping under the bed.
One night, the grandma forced the door open and saw her granddaughter hiding under the bed. That's when the truth finally hit. The cops were called, but instead of arresting Jimmy, they took the girl. Once she came home, she told her grandma everything.
She came home. Grandma, we need to go for a ride to talk. And that's when I found exactly what was going on.
When Steve confronts Jimmy, the guy instantly starts lying. Says he never had sex with her. Claims she just had a crush. But Steve isn't buying it for a second.
Did you have sex with her?
No.
Never had sex with her?
No.
But why did you have a 14-year-old girl in your room?
Since he keeps denying it, the little girl comes out and she confirms everything herself. She says they were sleeping together.
We were in a sexual relationship.
You were in a sexual relationship?
It started just a few weeks after they met. Jimmy told her he loved her, told her she was the only one. But, of course, that was a lie, too.
You think he might also be sleeping with other girls?
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you that he loves you?
Yeah.
Then came the polygraph to prove it. Jimmy was asked if he'd had sexual intercourse with 3 different women in the last 10 months. He answered, no.
Jimmy did not tell the truth.
So a lot more.
Well, looks like Jimmy's been sleeping with multiple women while preying on a teenager. At that point, Steve's done playing nice. He calls Jimmy a scumbag right to his face and tells him to get the hell off his stage.
And you are a scumbag, and eventually you'll get what's coming to you. So, you know what? Get the hell off my lap right now.
Jimmy walks off while the grandmother just stands there, heartbroken. Steve looks straight at the girl and tells her the truth, that the only way a guy like that keeps taking advantage is if she lets him.
The only way that Jimmy can keep taking advantage of you and taking what he wants is if you allow it.
After that creep, you'd hope the next man on this show would be a little better. Instead, we get a father who's just as disgusting, maybe even worse. A guy named Donnie came to the show after his son, Tyler, and daughter Megan accused him of being a drug dealer who got them hooked. Yeah, instead of protecting his kids, he was doing drugs with them.
Megan and Tyler say their father, Donnie, was a drug dealer who groomed them to become addicts.
But that wasn't even the worst part. Donnie also ended up sleeping with Tyler's ex-girlfriend, the same woman who had Tyler's baby, and he got her pregnant with twins.
Donnie has impregnated the mother of Tyler's child.
When Steve asked if he saw anything wrong with that, Donnie said no, like it was totally normal to hook up with your kid's ex and knock her up.
Being with the mother of your son's child, you don't see anything wrong with that?
No.
That's pretty sick, but Tyler was just hoping his dad didn't start sleeping with his baby mama while they were still together. Unfortunately, that had been the case.
And results are he did not tell the truth.
What a shocker.
We knew that.
Yeah.
Steve tore into him for being a pathetic excuse of a father, a man who wrecked his kids' lives, destroyed his own family, and acted proud of it.
You are one of the biggest fathers I've ever met in my life.
Congratulations.
Clearly, Donnie couldn't care less. Steve decided to throw this smug guy off his stage, and this is how he walked off.
You can get the hell off my stage.
And just when you think you've seen the stupidest case ever, the next guy walks in and raises the bar even higher. He was on the show denying that he got a woman pregnant, swearing up and down that there was no way it could be his kid. When Steve pressed him for an explanation, the man came out with one of the most unbelievable lines ever spoken on daytime TV.
Did you have sex with her?
Hell no, Steve. It can't be no way. She had to take a while of sleep.
She had to take it when he was asleep. That was his actual defense. According to him, he's such a deep sleeper that a whole sexual encounter could happen without him waking up once.
You're such a deep sleeper that if a woman had sex with you, you wouldn't wake up.
I wouldn't wake up.
Steve cracked up. He couldn't believe what he just heard. He even asked if the guy really thought that was possible. And the man said, it happens all the time.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah.
To who?
To anybody.
To any man.
Steve pointed out the obvious. If she got pregnant, it wasn't some dream. The guy still stuck to his story, saying, it can't be mine, and claiming he had no memory of anything happening.
Well, if she got pregnant with you, it had to be a full sexual intercourse.
It's not mine. It can't be. It can't be me.
Okay.
When Steve asked about the DNA test, the man said yes. He took one, and if it proved he wasn't the father, he'd be thrilled. But if it said he was.
And if it comes back you are the father, maybe you were awake.
Steve didn't even need to roast him. The excuse did all the work. It was easily one of the dumbest defenses ever thrown out on that stage.